Okay, now, the question is, here's the meeting order 2. Yes, okay, at 6 o'clock or 6:30, I call this meeting to order. We may or may not be getting broadcast. I don't see any participants on. So I have some comments tonight. One is, as some of you probably know, we had 2 people in town pass away this weekend, Connie Hastings and Dick Bonatti. And Dick has been a fixture in town forever. And John has a prepared statement about Dick to read. Go ahead, John.
Thank you, Bill. I've been given a prepared statement by the Holiday Lighting Committee, and I'd like to, at the end of that, it's not very long, sort of ad lib a little bit. So this may take a few minutes, but it's not going to be too long. The Holiday Lighting Committee held its annual ceremony to celebrate the lighting of the center tree on Sunday, December 4th. Each year, we select an outstanding member of the town to do the honor of turning on the switch. This year, we were pleased to select Dick Bonatti. Dick rolled across the grass in his wheelchair promptly at 5 p.m., accompanied by Sandy and his brother-in-law, Tim Fisk. These are the remarks that Honey, as chairman of that committee, made before Dick flipped the switch. I told the story of Dick starting his long career of service to the town when he was a young teenager. He worked as a janitor for the town and had the additional duty of lighting the wood stove for select board meetings in the old firehouse, not far from where we stood at that moment. In addition to many years of service to the Congregational Church in various roles, most recently as its treasurer, Dick spent some 40 years with the Temple Town Band. He was also a key player in the committee that restored this town hall. Thank you, Dick, and we are grateful to have you here tonight to have the honor of turning on our holiday tree. This turned out to be a very special moment, as Dick has now passed away. I would also like to recognize 2 other individuals, Constance Ronaldo and Honey Hastings. Constance died a few weeks ago and had been our library trustee for some time and was the president of the trustees for quite a few years, including when the trustees went through the COVID experience and had to make some really tough decisions. Honey Hastings came to Temple about 20 years ago, about the same time Connie and I did, and had been involved in many, many town committees. She was instrumental, like Dick, in the restoration of this town hall. She served as president of the Historical Commission and was a very powerful voice for that commission in town. She was on the Concom for many years and was totally devoted to Temple. So I'd like to ask that we honor these 3 incredible people with a moment of silence. Thank you. If it's okay, Bill, I'd like to make two other comments, totally unrelated, but more probably typical of the grief I give you guys. So the first is that I know you're going to consider a barn easement later in this meeting. I thought we were. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So we will, John will have more comments when we do the public comment session. I'd also like to note that Dick was a very treasured member of the Lions Club here in Temple for many years, and he will be missed. Okay, there's another comment I want to make. It's unfortunate this is juxtaposed with what we just talked about. But in a few meetings, we've had some acrimonious times and some comments that were not appreciated. So I have prepared a statement I'm going to read, and I'm going to read it so I don't get off track here. In the last select board meeting, which did get fairly heated, there were some misleading, incorrect, or totally false statements made in the select board meeting re Ben Fisk's request for refund of legal fees imposed by the zoning board. Regarding John's statement that the select board ignored the ZBA requirements by not requiring an engineer to review directly from the ZBA decision. And by the way, everything I'm talking about is online. You can see these documents. Applicant, this is under 13A, standard number 4, bullet item 3. Applicant must retain a certified commercial building inspector to, let me put my glasses on so I can actually read it. Assure that the construction is consistent with the application and meets town and state standards. Well, New Hampshire's certified commercial building inspectors are generally licensed professional engineers. We really don't have that many certified commercial building inspectors. New Hampshire uses the 2018 International Building Codes, and under section 104.4, New Hampshire says that certified professional engineers are approved to do this. And John, you apparently recognize the fact because you did say engineer in the meeting, although the ZBA decision says building inspector. The applicant did retain a professional engineer from the firm involved in the building. The lender, to Ben, also had its own professional engineer review the facts of the first professional engineer. There is no wording in the decision that requires yet another inspector. And in fact, in discussions with a totally independent professional engineer having nothing to do with this, it is not unreasonable to have the certification done by the professional engineer that has been in charge of the project. Therefore, the applicant exceeded the ZBA requirement, and clearly the select board did not ignore the ZBA requirement. As for the rebate question itself, the ZBA attorney advised the ZBA that the select board should handle it, not the zoning board. The question is not about the ZBA's reasons for the charges, it's about the validity of those charges. Okay. This goes on for another page. Mr. Kieley also commented that in the Marsh case, the court severely criticized the select board and questioned the competence of the two attorneys in the Marsh case. The court order does not say anything approaching that. Here is directly from the court order. And by the way, the court order is available online. You can read it. The history of the settlement troubles the court in part because it suggests that the town may not be adequately protecting the public interest with respect to the junkyard. Given that the court is allowing the Kieleys to intervene in a limited capacity and that this will provide them with sufficient opportunity to participate in the matter, the court need not determine, for the purpose of this order, whether the town's representation of the public interest in this case was adequate. The judge himself said he isn't going to figure out if we were adequate or not. There is no statement anywhere in that court order that questions the competence of the town attorneys. And I defy you to find it, John. I encourage anyone interested to read the actual court order. It's on the website under the select board documents. Finally, and then I'll be done. Connie said in the last meeting that the decision by the board, read the FISC rebate, was based on what I had told them to do. That is patently false. There is no evidence whatsoever to support this, and it slanders not only me, but the select board and the other people making the decision. No such events have occurred, period. And then again, I will restate, all these documents are right online. You can go look at them yourself. Okay. That's done. Let me find the agenda and we'll proceed. Public comment. John, you wanted public comment.
I think, as I mentioned, I had two comments to make. I'd like to add a third one to Bill's epistle there. Is that okay?
Well, if
okay,
if it's not repetitious.
Okay. I'm glad you said that anyone that's interested should read the court decision, because anyone who does that will see the error in what you've just described. I won't belabor that point. The two comments I did want to make were that later in this meeting, the committee's going to, or the board's going to consider a barn easement. And I was involved when this legislation first came up. I was a selectman. I applauded it then. I applaud it now. I would encourage you to support that application. I do have a caveat, though, in that the board, or let's say the town, does not have an ability to monitor existing barn easements. As a result of that, there has been a minimum of a 5-figure loss to taxpayers. So, bottom line, I encourage you to approve this easement, but I would encourage you to spend 10 minutes looking at the current easements you have and how you can fix this financial drain to the town. Again, 5 figures have been lost from tax revenue because the town just doesn't have a way to monitor it. So,
yeah, John,
opportunity for the town.
I have a question on that. I vaguely remember the legislation. I read through it. It definitely comes, if they do not maintain it, they lose the tax status.
That's true.
Okay.
And I haven't read it for 10 years.
Yep.
So, but there's another provision there that says that the easements have a lifespan of 10 years.
Right. Okay.
I'm 90% sure the 10 figure.
Yeah,
maybe,
there is some lifetime.
Maybe some other number, but so it has to be renewed.
Okay.
So we now
that's
have,
what we're missing is the renewal process then?
we now have, I only know of one because I haven't, not my job to do the research, but one that wasn't renewed and the town's losing money. The taxpayers are losing money. So do with that what you would like.
Can you identify that party to the board?
You can do
private?
it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I know it.
Okay.
All right.
So the other comment I wanted to make was Bill brought up the Marsh case, and there was speculation when the court order came out and identified it as an unlawful junkyard. Correct my words, Bill, but that's what the court said. There was speculation, including by members of the board, that the property owners would clean up their act, knowing that the court was coming up. We had one crane on the site. We now have a much larger number of cranes and much bigger cranes than we had. We have lots of tractor trailer loads of additional junk. We have in the front yard today a massive, I'm not even sure what it's called, maybe an earth mover that you'd see on you wouldn't see it going down the road. It would be on a big construction site. We now have in view from the road multiple bulldozers. We have trailers, box trailers in view of the road. We have a buildup in the junkyard, that raises two issues, I think, two macro level issues for the select board, maybe three. But the first is obviously we have an increased risk of damage to the aquifer and the drinking water supply for many, many residents of Temple, many residents of Wilton, Amherst, Milford, Nashua. So the risk of pollution is dramatically increased with every tractor trailer load of junk that is brought on the property. The other thing that's macro level to the town of Temple is that if this site is abandoned, the more junk on it, the more pollution that's on it, the bigger the hit to the taxpayer to clean it up. And right now, I mean, the agreement that this board had didn't have any protection for the town in that event. We have no protection. I don't know if the select board has asked Primex about this, but obviously every day that goes by, the risk to the taxpayers of Temple increases. And the last comment I would make is, if I were Mr. Driscoll sitting in Laconia, I guess, I think it would be important for him to know that the site is not being cleaned up. It's just the opposite. And all you have to do is drive down West Road. I did drive down George's Road the other day too, and it was a day when there were multiple cranes up in the air way above the pines, and you can now see them from lots of other places than just the surrounding neighbors. So we have a growing problem, and I just want to be sure that the board was aware of the escalation.
Well, not to that. I was not personally to that extent, but we have informed legal that there are more things coming in. But if you remember, going all the way back to Bill Drescher, he said there is nothing we can do about it until the court decides.
Okay. I won't debate that, but I would think the board should publicly recognize that every load that comes in increases the risk to our water supply and the financial risk to the taxpayers of Temple. Cleaning that dump up is not a few $100 grand anymore. Thank you.
Right. Clearly, the town could be subject. If the town has to clean that up, it's going to cost a lot of money. I don't think we realistically expected that they were going to clean it up themselves prior. We just hope they might. But again, I will restate, going back to the original attorney, Bill Drescher, involved in this. We brought this up multiple times with all of our attorneys. We were told, well, the fact that there are legal proceedings in progress, we have no way to stop it. Now,
okay.
I'm sorry if 4 different attorneys have told us that,
Bill,
they're all wrong.
We've lived through this. We've all lived through this. I think it's important that Driscoll and Laura.
Yeah, I'll let them know that it's much bigger than we thought it was.
I think it would also be important, maybe this has already happened, to put Primex on notice that we've got a big problem.
Yeah, now it's possible since the judge, I have no basis for saying this, but it's possible since the judge is now directly involved in this, that if the judge was informed, maybe he would do something, but we'll find out. We'll find out.
That's a good idea.
Since you are going to be semi-part of that case, have you relayed this information to your lawyer to relay to the rest of the lawyers?
What we do with our lawyer is our business.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
we have not been silent. You know, we are interveners in the case. Frankly, because the town was about to sign, which you all three have agreed was a very bad document.
Yes,
And I
we don't
know
need to
all
go
the
into that.
reasons
We
you ended
know
up there,
why
but we intervened because the town was in a bad place. And obviously our involvement hasn't stopped. And the abutters group, their involvement hasn't stopped.
Good.
And every time they fire up one of these big machines, it wakes up the neighborhood, you know what I mean? So yeah.
I'm just wondering if you went through those channels to get to our lawyers.
No.
Try and put all of those to the lawyers.
Okay.
So that they all stay in the loop. And I mean, if you're doing it on your side, then we should have heard from our lawyer that you guys have said this,
Okay.
have said this, and have said this, and we have not, is what I'm getting.
Yeah, it's important that we all stay on the same page.
Well, it sounds like you're being critical of us, Ken, right?
No.
So, yeah, yeah. Well, there's no breakdown of communication because I'm updating you on
Yeah,
what's going
okay.
on.
Good. I think it's important that we all stay on the same page with this. So. No. Okay. Yes, we know. Right. We have relayed to our attorney in the past. Yes, we will relay what we have heard tonight. No, I said I was not aware of the extent of this. We will relay this to our attorney.
The last time we came up with this information, we did relay it.
Yes.
And I just want to make sure that that's the way we're supposed to be doing it.
There has been a lot going on since we last talked about this. We've watched it occur. And it is tried to inform you tonight of how severe the problem is becoming.
All right. We have acknowledged that. Thank
Okay,
you.
so
We will
it's
relay
not
it.
on us. You are the plaintiffs. We are the intervener, which ends before it goes to court. So you need to be proactive if you really truly want to protect the town.
As Ken said, whenever we've heard about this, we have relayed it to our attorneys. We are getting repetitious here. It's now almost 5 of 7. How much are we going to beat this to death tonight?
Nothing. I'm just saying is I believe a lot of what you said in your first statement too is not accurate, but that's my opinion. I'm not going to debate that with you.
Okay. Moving on. Okay. Any other public comment? Old business. Do we have any old business that needs discussing? Okay.
Can I have that microphone? Thanks, buddy. Okay, so I've gotten 2 quotes for flagpoles. One from Old Glory, as in Old Glory Guns and Ammo in Greenville. Exterior lanyard 9161 for a fiberglass white gold top pole. That's just the pole. That's not installation. And an interior one is $11,463. Now I called Patriot Flag, who represents the same people who make the flag pole. The interior one is $9,800 and the exterior one is $8,000 for the pole themselves, which we did want to purchase. Now I know we had $5,900 for a pole, a little short of 89 or 11,463. So I think we should continue this with BAC and get it in for the budget next year so that we can get it going first part spring, get the new flagpole in and out. I don't have an installation price because I just wanted to try and get the pole before the end of the year with the funds that we had. So I don't have an installation price. That's something I will work on now for the budget advisory committee so that we know what the total number is.
Okay, anything else? Pete Caswell isn't here again tonight. He supposedly has another quote, but I haven't heard it. Anything on the town hall repairs? We haven't, anything new?
I can't even remember his name. I think it's Laffert. I could be wrong, but he met with him today. And he looked at it and he thought it was like a day's work. And he's going to get us the quote. I don't know, in a few days, in a few weeks, who knows? And well, I told him we need it before the budget hearing. So hopefully we have that, and haven't heard back yet from what's his
Them.
name? Huh?
Them.
No, the other guy.
Yeah,
the
other
young-
guy.
Young kid. Oh, God. Sorry. You
I
know,
will
one.
call him and rattle his cage for you.
Yeah,
Okay, clearly, this is going to happen next year, not this year.
I know, but we need it done before.
Yeah, before we got to have
um,
it for the budget.
Yeah. But it didn't sound, maybe it's not going to be as bad as I originally thought. So
That would be nice. Nice surprise. Okay. Let's see here. Anything else? I've got nothing back on the, heard anything from any of the alarm system guys? I never got anything back from. Apparently, none of these alarm system people actually want to talk to us. Okay, policy on merit increases. We're not doing that tonight. Not doing that this year, I don't imagine. We'll get. Go ahead. Okay. Well. Okay, how do I get this thing to fill the screen, Connie? Do you remember? There we go. Okay. Yep. Okay, so moving on to new business. Hadley Highway refinance issue. Anderson. Yes. I can summarize it for you if you want. So these people wanted to do a refinance on their house. It turns out that many moons ago, I think it was back in maybe the 80s even, there was an agreement between the town and the then property owners. They had an illegal residence because they had 2 ADUs, one in the home and one detached. There was an agreement with the town that they would shut down the one in the house, turn it into a storeroom or something, and keep the exterior ADU. They didn't. So when they tried to refinance, the appraiser came around and checked with us on our zoning and said, hey, it's illegal. So apparently you can't get your financing until this gets sorted out. Right. So here we have a problem. By the way, it was Mazda. It was a Mazda agreement. Okay. Okay. So under our zoning, that's not allowed. So I'm not sure how we sort this out. Well, yeah, but the Mazda didn't do the part he was supposed to do. He was. Okay. Okay. I looked back at the original agreement and it said there would only be 1 ADU there. So, however, now it's their problem. And I think this has to go to the ZBA. They're going to have to ask for a special exception or a variance is the only way I can see to get around this. And it's probably going to have to be a variance. So this is going to have to jump through hoops here. You will need to apply to the zoning board for, there's a couple of categories. I don't remember the names of them offhand. I'm also the ZBA chair, so you'll be seeing me again on this. Get the ZBA application from either the town office or it's on the town website too, if you dig down into the ZBA stuff. make an application, we'll schedule a hearing. And how much time do you have, by the way?
Well, I'm not under a time constraint. I mean, I'm just trying to get it done.
Okay, because,
Through Thanksgiving, thought everything was moving forward quickly until we get to the appraisal part.
Yep.
You know, if that's the only thing that now, that's the only thing that's holding back.
yeah, and the appraiser is correct. So I will tell you, it's probably going to take 6 weeks or so to get scheduled for the zoning stuff, fill out the application. There's notices to abutters. You'll see on the application form. And then we'll have a hearing and the ZBA will decide. If the ZBA decides in your favor, then you're all set and we'll provide a document for the lending firm. Okay.
I know that Ted Petro said that these people are very good neighbors and he had no problem with them living across the street.
Okay.
I just want to make it clear that Ted has been very supportive of those people.
Okay.
He's,
Okay. So
Yes,
see you
he
at the
is.
ZBA meeting.
Let's get the application started and we'll go
Yep. Have any questions? You can ask, and well, we can tell you what, if something's not clear on the form, let us know. We'll tell you what you need to do. Okay,
Thank you very much for your time.
sure. Okay, we got a timber cut. North Pack Lodge.
This is tax levy, timber cut. We
Ah,
already-
okay. All right. Okay. Yep,
So we can collect.
our money. Does George have it down there? Is that what he's saying? Okay,
The next one we have is the timber cut.
Intent. Yep. Jenks, West Road. Cutting.
70 acres. Said, well, 70 out of 113. Jenks, Jenks, West Road. Wants to start 1/1/23.
Okay, review barn preservation application. And regarding what John pointed out, I will send an email to our tax collector saying that property is no longer qualifies. Okay, it might or might not be. Not going to name who I think it is in public, but we can check with the tax collector.
Yeah, that's what it says. So I would tend to say, let's schedule a hearing. Because other than that, it's only for us to decide whether we assess it at 25%, 50%, 75%. So I think that can be discussed at the hearing, and so can anything else.
The one thing I noticed was that, this barn was built in the mid-40s or early 50s. I don't remember too much of the paper. I'm not sure if it's that historical. I would think someplace it was about 100 years old. I would consider that historical.
So my barn that's about 250 years old should qualify then, except it's not taxed anyway, so. Oh, okay, so we're going to schedule a hearing for this one.
I still make the motion.
I'll second, all in favor? Aye. Okay, we'll have to schedule. It's probably not going to be till next year. Review quote for town report. Anybody get anything from Rose?
Yeah,
Oh,
number 16 in your packet.
okay, hold on.
So it went from $3,000 to $3,100, and it looks like, printing charges, no. Yeah, printing charges went up $100.
I move that we accept the bid by Road Flower to the town reports for the price of $1,300.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, Rose is doing our report again. And now I've lost my agenda. There it is. It's a good thing people are cutting all these trees because we're sure going through a lot of them. Okay, next up, Dutch made invoice.
So my problem with these guys is every time we come up here to this hall, they're supposed to take supplies from the municipal building and bring them up here for toilet papers, paper towels, cleaning supplies, whatever they need. I don't know if it's not there, they're not doing it, nothing gets up here for some reason. There's never any trash bags here. There's never any paper towels here. And I've never seen an extra roll of toilet paper up here. So my problem is that, and I gave you all you guys a copy of this.
Yeah,
And to me, when I first read this and found it in the, what you call it, yeah, well, the package that Julie puts together. I thought it said November 5. And Carol's saying, no, it's X5. And I don't know, it looks like the country on mine. I didn't see that when I saw it before.
okay,
Which tells me nothing.
yeah,
It doesn't tell me what they did while they were here. It didn't tell me how long they've been here, anything.
yep.
And we just keep paying over $1,000 every month for claims that we have no idea what to do.
Yeah, but still, I mean, we're over, we're thousands of dollars a year here, and it would be nice to know what they're actually doing. Since, like you said, Ken, don't seem to be doing much here.
Yeah. I don't pay all this money and they can just put November sides for house cleaning and it's done. It doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah, so I think we need to tell them we want more information on the invoices, and they should be doing what they're supposed to be doing here. Okay.
No, it's nice to hear this, I've looked a couple times and I've seen it here, so
Well, I've been here during events. When you go to find something, there's nothing. There's no trash in it, there's no extra paper towels. I had to run to the store with my paper towels for the charrette because there was nothing out there. There was no trash bags, no nothing.
Right.
I think it's time we asked for another service, get a couple of roads and see if we can't get somebody more local. That will give us what we need. We've asked these people to do this several times already, and I'm done.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Connie.
I called her and I said that we need more information on the invoices, and I said, what exactly is in our contract? What you're supposed to do, you know, and she even said, you know, we go to both buildings, and she didn't, she didn't. Well, why is the problem all of a sudden, and we do everything you asked us to do, and we thought we had a good relationship. I gotta go to chemo for my whatever.
Yeah, that should have nothing to do with anything. I'm sorry, everybody keeps bringing that up. It's really starting to piss me off. Because it's been going on for a long time.
Connie.
Gave Carol maybe somebody else, so that's not my job, but I do believe that everybody deserves a fair chance, and what I do with people that work for us, if I find, I just make a list and give it to them. Just a list, this is what has to be done every time we come. And I did notice that still needs a better cleaning units. I mean, we need a deep cleaning every so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, clean out, I can just give them a list. I wouldn't give anybody a chance for me, but.
The library also gave you a chance to let them go.
Yeah. Okay, well, the minimum we have to do is figure out what they're not doing right. And it supplies here. The general quality of the cleaning, would you identify that? The general quality of the cleaning, would that be the way to phrase it, or more specific?
Do the gallery up there near Aston, it is clean, it just.
Okay. Yep, yep. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Beginning, we used to bring stuff in, I mean, I used to bring stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, we're not supposed to do that. They are.
Is that stuff that's in the stock room? Yeah, I mean, I think they probably only grab some cheap bags of what we call the capsules that are here. I don't think we ever said we need stockpile in case you need more. But maybe some clarity on what you want from them, but I don't care less.
Well, we should at least, yeah. It wouldn't hurt to talk to a second company and just get a comparable, see what they would do it for. Even if we don't, I mean, that doesn't mean we necessarily switch companies, but it would be nice to know. Yeah. They absolutely do need to have the bills be more distinct. Yes, that would be a. Yes, it would certainly be nice for them to have a fixed schedule. Right. Yeah, I used to see them come in the morning. Yes. Okay. Hold on. Sign one more thing here. I'll forget it. Do it in a minute. Town office, the lateral drawers. So Carol got a quote for having them repaired rather than replaced. And what was about, it was 800, Carol, roughly? Okay. Yeah, I did some casual looking on Amazon and ePray. And you can get a metal file cabinet, a new one, for about 300. Go ahead. Okay.
Had a ton of experience, he can fix anything. And I talked to the office personnel, and they said that they would like the desks and drawers that are there now. If they had something different, they'd want it the same color and the same condition. And I can only say that Mr. Brock will do a tremendous job.
Okay, so the cost for new metal would end up being about the same as him repairing them.
If not, Elizabeth says she doesn't have to have hers done right on.
Okay, George, why don't you talk to him and let us know? And if you think it's a good idea, then we can proceed.
Those, I don't care how you make those things out of wood and you pile them full of 800-pound paper. They're gonna fall apart. Eventually they fall.
Yeah, and they're particle board.
The metal ones stay together. So if we bought metal ones, we're looking at $1,200 to change them all within reason. It's probably an inch shorter, maybe 3 inches wide, not wider. We can make up the inch. We can put something underneath them to make it so that the surface is right. They'll all be the same. They'll all be able to all have working file drawers. And the biggest thing is that all of the ones that I looked at, you cannot open 2 drawers at once. Ours, you can. And the things just fall right over. So there's a safety issue there too. I think that we should only be able to open 1 drawer at a time. Because paper, believe it or not, is heavy, heavy, heavy. And the unit you're putting it in needs to be able to have paper.
Yeah, they don't have any interlocks. Yep.
I would like to talk to Mr. Paul and find out if he has the same feeling. He's a woodworker. He knows it's not Baltic bricks, it's not real wood. It's essentially solid.
Yeah, it's MDF. So
I don't think it's like, one that's regional craft. Yeah, it says just install the growth by same to full extension growth line, which they already have. And they already.
all right, so you guys talk to him, figure out what we're gonna do.
Yeah, just find out if he can give us a scope of work. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it.
Yeah, Connie.
Yeah, it was the old ones, but wasn't there a place in Jackson where we used to get stuff?
Yes, they're gone. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. Too bad that were great. Okay, we have a trustee transfer letter that we need to approve. No, I see why you're sitting here. You're last on the list. Hmm.
Carol, what are these? These all. All ones?
Okay.
So. This is the same one I'm talking about?
This is highway.
Okay, we have 2 letters to the trustees of the trust fund, one for highway. To put in there. Trust fund for paving. $6,200, $6,211.09. And then we have one for cemetery. Oh, cemetery, where we did. Sorry.
So is it just highway that we have?
That's all I have.
So we only had that one? Okay, next up, review and approve 2 LUCT and warrants for Fisk.
There's 2 of them, so you should have a 2017. I developed paperwork with the town on file, get rid of the pages. So, my favorite people try to get me on stuff, they would see it there.
Okay. So.
All right, to fill in stuff here. There was apparently an error because the tax maps were not correct. And some of the other papers were not correct for Ben's property coming out of current use for the new building. Oh, the old building, yeah, all right. There were 2 things, yeah, okay. Anyway, there were some errors in the tax maps and the deeding and some other stuff. I had a long talk with our appraiser today. There's a bunch of stuff we need to do to get this stuff fixed in the records. And he adjusted the LUCT to take into account the changes. And that's what this is all about. Well, we have the charges right now. Oh, no. We got from Avatar adjusted LUCT billings, whatever you want to call them, warrants, which we need to sign so we can collect the money. That's what we're doing.
And you're aware that somebody was doing some research and wanted to speak to those.
Well, I talked to that person this morning. I talked to Avatar this afternoon. I have a fairly long written explanation. The billing is correct, so we're going to approve it. It is correct. And I'll go over that with that person. Well, she did round up a few $100 more for the town. I actually told her I didn't think we were doing anything tonight, but I was wrong. First time, I got some real stories about that from business meetings. Anyway, Avatar explained to me the whole basis for the billing, the justification for it. It's done under state standards using all the right figures. The person that was complaining about the computations is just wrong. That's all there is to it. No, I told her I didn't think we were doing anything on it because I hadn't looked at the agenda. No. Yeah. But the town, our assessor said, no, you're still covered under CU. You count. So too bad. Oh, God. So I believe, didn't I hear on as that person was leaving, yet again, something about us conspiring with our friends to give them breaks or some such crap.
Whatever they said it on the way out, so I wouldn't take too much to it, because we can't stand here for the rest of the meeting, they get what they get.
Yes, I will comment. I am really tired of these ridiculous accusations that keep coming up. Okay, next up is,
All set?
I think so, meeting minutes from November 22nd.
Okay. I have a few issues with it.
Okay,
Got it. So, under chairman's comments, after that, we all swore in Lariat and Latundra. It doesn't say that here for this decision on the Ben's lawyer fee issues because of the recusal of Bill and Ken. Wendy swore them in for this decision as selectmen. And then if you go down to 2 paragraphs past that, it starts, Willard noted that the minutes have moved to repay Ben the entire 14,000 in legal fees. However, his motion did not carry and was amended to offering Ben $7,000 as satisfaction for his legal fees. That motion passed on 2-1. 2-1 vote. 2-1 vote from who? That should have been either Latundra, Lariat, or Willard. And
okay. So,
yeah, because they're not, this looks like that we're still sitting on the board and that we voted on this 2-1, because it doesn't mention any other people.
yeah, okay. Sure. You should list that.
And then if you go down, it says, farther down, a couple sentences down, it says Fisk asked for a day to discuss with his attorney. I would put time there. I don't think he said he just wanted a day.
I don't know what I said, but if I could have some time, it'd be better.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's another motion we'll talk about later. That's another motion we're gonna talk about later. Under Robidoux, she starts out with this lot 5A24. But she did tell us whose subdivision it was. And it's not clear here as to what they're talking about. Robidoux updated that we recently discovered that there was a portion of 5A24 that appears to have been dropped off the deed.
The problem with that, it's a Nick Road, and that's a piece of land up by Vivian Wells,
Yep,
and there's about an acre lot in the middle of that development that was owned by Junior Hall.
right. But this has to do with that Nick Rowe
Yes,
subdivision,
yes,
which by lot, you can go look it up, but I think it would be nice if we just put Robidoux updated the Nick Rowe subdivision as 5A24 and that it appears to have been dropped.
I have a thing regarding big paragraph where I would be with the other guy.
Yep.
And it said here that Laureate moved to close the discussion for tonight and bring back the original select board. I believe I was the one that motioned to end the discussion and dismiss the temporary board members. I think I saved us a lot of time by doing that because Mr. Laureate has a tendency to talk long and forever.
Motion to accept as amended. All in favor? Minutes are approved. We did have a police board meeting and actually did something this time. The police budget for this year was voted on approved. It is increased slightly figures and time. But just as this year, we're very likely spending money because the cops. We were told that Mason is offering part-time cops. $54 an hour. That are expected to the opening. Are we in the comment period? We're in the May. Okay. Did you get the recycle budget? I sent you. I forwarded it. Yeah, we have to. I just want to make sure you got it. Okay. Any other business? Yeah. Okay. I would like to make a comment. I'm right here. Okay. We've been on it and pictures about 6 years old and you know, just up the street for a year and even telling how to do it. Yeah, a business has to run on the fourth oldest to the
So, Kathy Booth's comments saying no on. From the chat.
Yeah.
It might be.
I think this thing needs a new battery, but.
Oh. Well,
John Barry, he's 93. He's 93.
He's 93.
Yeah.
My cousin Howard is 40 years old. Sandra Fisk.
I understand the reason we shouldn't be getting on.
Sandra. Oh, okay. Somebody was talking about a Sandra Fisk, asking if she was related, you know, in a way, and I was like, I don't know who it is, but.
The test family is pretty big. I think we might have had. Well. And I think they lost a couple of them out of the rest of them.
Okay, Kim, you got something?
Yes, our compressed. Evidently that was not 83%. I'm just gonna screen. Okay. So. I don't know if it was 10% or 20% that we have to pay, but it was $34,000 was the total for the.
So for people that are listening and you can't hear us, the batteries in our mics, all the mics, batteries are dead. This is on its last legs. So sorry.
So. Hang on, let me finish this first. So I'm requesting that 10% because we originally wanted to pay, we're gonna pay that out of the funds. George did get us the grant to pay for most of it, so I'm asking for the $3,500 max to pay the difference. And basically it's just going back into the general fund anyways, so.
Yeah, where's it coming from?
ARPA, the ARPA funds to the general fund.
Oh, okay. All right. To cover this.
Yeah.
I so move. All in favor? Aye. Carol, did you get that? Yep, 10%.
So you're gonna have to draft a letter for the Peter to draw out whatever the total is of $3,500 to be deposited into the general fund. Then, George, you have something that's to do with this or? Something else. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to comment that I thought that Bill Ezell made a very good statement at the beginning of the meeting. And I was full approval.
I second that.
Thank you. I did spend an entire week going through that, making sure I had everything right, regardless of other opinions. Okay.
And my next motion would be to stop the recordings of these meetings. There is no need for it. We have minutes. We do not need to have this out there forever and ever and ever. There's no possible. We're not doing archive files. We're not doing electronic files. We're just passing them out to YouTube. I personally don't want to be on YouTube unless it's confined to our own recordings. And we don't have those. So I'm making a motion not to record any of these meetings, the same as what we've had before. We will simulcast them, but I don't believe we have a reason for any of these recordings.
Okay, now we are not dealing with the recordings ourselves. We just have the meetings and someone else is taking what is recorded and putting it on YouTube. So,
Again, we are recording.
okay,
So therefore, my motion is to not record any of these meetings. It doesn't make sense. We have minutes. That's what the meeting minutes are for.
okay, George, got an opinion on that?
I could hear one way or the other, because I don't go on Facebook or YouTube.
I don't either, but I don't know. There are people that definitely look at it, not many. At least I think there are. I've seen counts of 10s and 20s on some of them. Yeah. Hey, can't.
One person.
No, that's us, one participant.
So that's okay. I'm doing the simulcast thing. Catch me live.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be recorded for history. There's no point.
Like, I would want them to be recorded and put on YouTube or whatever, like, you know, for decades, you go to a meeting, you show up, or now you have the luxury of, you know, viewing it live from the house, but, you know, for all of history, you had to make the certain date and time of the meeting to see it, that's it. It shouldn't be recorded if it makes somebody uncomfortable.
Yeah, so
The counter, this thing is really on its last legs. The counter to that is, the stated reason is there are people that they're working now or something and they want to see the meeting.
And that's fine. be here at this meeting.
Yeah,
I have to show up. I get it. I'd like to be informed too, but that's what minutes are for. You're not gonna watch me on the program later on. We'll get it. It's.
yeah. So personally, I don't care that much. I'm not thrilled about being on YouTube forever. So I will not take a position on this.
Yeah, sure, George. Then we'll,
Okay, let's,
We can't have participating Zoom,
right,
and we do on the planning board, and I don't like,
they shouldn't.
if you want to participate, come to the damn.
Wow. They should not be having those. There are legal issues with that. Oh, God. Ah. Yeah, you're right. All right. Well, they weren't on camera. Oh, they could see them in the on the screen. Yeah. No, keep nothing. We stream. Yeah, we have to zoom it. We've got to do that. All right. How about this? Since we don't seem to be, since George and I are sitting on the fence on this, I will have my wife put something on the Facebook page. Let's ask people, hey, do you find these things valuable? And we will see what kind of response we get, and then we can talk about it next meeting. As good as you're going to get.
I request to be on the agenda for the same motion.
All right.
At the next meeting.
Okay. Or.
George, I work all day, I work all night for the town, I do fire department, they don't record me, I do, all kinds of things for the recreation department, they don't record me. I do a million different things in this town. I really don't want to be, one of them guys that we got later on, or give Connie and the other, John, any ammunition to start snipping stuff and putting it and blasting us away for it.
I have a compromise. You can wear a brown paper bag over your head. I forget.
The Ballfield, the guy used to come out with a paper bag.
Yeah, some show. I don't remember which
Yeah,
one.
so.
Compromise, you keep it for 3 days. And then you take it and never go.
Once it hits the web, it's done. It's
Yeah.
out there forever.
It's out there forever. Well, okay, so
If we were doing our own recordings and kept them in-house as an electronic file, I'd be okay with that.
we can do that. We can do that.
I'm not getting paid for YouTube. I do not want to be on YouTube.
Okay. So Zoom does let us, we can record the meetings locally on a SD card here, or that we can actually put them, Zoom allows us a certain amount of online storage. All that's happening right now is Connie is going in and taking that Zoom stuff and transferring it to YouTube. So we could put it on keep it on Zoom only. People could look at it for a few days, then we get rid of it. Okay, we'll discuss this next meeting. I'll put a poll out. We'll see what happens. You know what'll happen. A few people will respond. A lot of people won't, and we'll see what happens. Okay.
Also, one more thing before we end.
Yep.
Because of the simple fact of all these key people that are passing away here as of late, Can we ask their committees to write a blurb and give us a picture to put in the town report?
Yeah, there's actually, Gail's working on that for Dick. And yes, I think we should get the library can put together one for Connie and. Okay. And I'm sure we can get somebody to do it for Honey, maybe Cam or somebody. So yeah, we can do in memoriams for all these people. Yep.
And at the same time, I want to make perfectly clear that we do not want to miss anyone who has passed away this year.
Right.
We don't want to select few, we want them all.
Boy, that's gonna get harder and harder. That's right. All in favor? Aye, we're adjourned. Good night, everybody.